Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
I'm Joe Biggs with Infowars.com in Cochise County, Arizona with Glenn Spencer. Now, we are right on the border, as you can see. From what Glenn told me a second ago, they spend about $3 million every mile or so to build this fence, and yet they have left this completely wide open. Now, tell me why this happens.
Well, we're known for monsoons. Between really July, August, September, we have heavy rains. And what they've done here, because this is a wash, this is a low spot, what they've done is they've cut the holes in the fence and put in these gates and raised them up so the water can come through. Now, these are up, I don't know, usually 2 or 3 months out of the year. As you can see, you could just walk right through.
$3 million was spent on this section, and it is completely left wide open. I mean, right here they have a lock, and you can tell that someone goes through the trouble to bring a crane out here, not a crane, but a forklift, lift these up and lock these completely in. Yeah, and it's as easy as walking in.
That's right, you're right.
And you can see footprints over here where people were just right here, the other side, and trash, water bottles, and that coming through. It's obvious what's going on. We'll continue informing you on what's going on out here at the border. I'm Joe Biggs with Infowars.com.
Joining me now is Joe Biggs. Now, Joe, what did you really think about that today when Drudge Report had their big headlines, America does not have operational control of U.S. territory? Were you surprised?
No, not really. I mean, I've been to the area where they were talking to, where they took Ben Carson out and showed him around. It's in between Hereford, Arizona and Naco. And in that area, it's very wide open, very few homes, and a lot of it's BLM land. So there's not a lot of patrolling going on. You're not going to see police officers out that way, maybe 1 or 2 border patrol. But I mean, if you're a cartel guy, you kind of learn when they're there, when they're not there, what they're doing. Half these guys are sitting there playing, Angry Birds or something on their phone, not even paying attention. So it's not that much of a surprise. But what that does, though, is it helps kind of narrow down for myself as a reporter to go out there. And I know that spot that I've been to, I need to go look harder because, like they said, they're finding these cartel spotters, these little safe houses and things like that. So it's definitely something that I want to go and look into further.
Right, yeah, because you're definitely going up in the helicopter a lot, and that's what they're seeing is that these there's caves and lookout spots, thousands of feet up in the air, that they're spotters, cartel spotters, just looking for people. And I mean, you were there with these farmers who their land has basically been infiltrated. So not only do we have people coming across the border, but now also dangerous criminals or just drug drop-off point.
Well, they keep talking about how they're going to build this huge wall, or, Trump saying this big wall is going to solve all of our problems. That's just not the case, because all you have to do is dig a hole under it or go over. These guys, and not even that, these guys are really smart, because last time I was in Arizona with Glenn Spencer, he showed me a lot of the areas on the border where essentially all you had to do was drive up with a truck. They pull out their acetylene gas torches, cut holes in these fences, drive a truck over it, make their drop, come back, hook it up to a winch, pull the fence back up, and then re-weld it. And You'll see spots on the U.S. side where the Border Patrol will go after it's happened, and then they'll mark, on this date, so-and-so cartel came through, repatched it up, and they go back and reinforce it, which they don't really do anything. All they do is they take...
And it's about a year later that they're...
Yeah, I mean, it's completely and totally ridiculous. But, I'm glad that they got this article out, because that's going to further put eyes in that area, because that's one of the things when I'm talking to my buddy who's a pilot who's going to be flying me around, that's one of the main spots that I was pointing out a week ago, and the fact that they're now talking about it further going ahead, that pushes the fact that I should be out there and looking into that even more.
Right. Well, and it's good to see that there are some other presidential candidates that are saying, okay, well, America seems to be really concerned about the condition at the border. But obviously, like you mentioned, they can build a tunnel, and they've been doing that for decades. We just had another story come out of an arrest of an underwater tunnel was found because there was a scuba diver, and he brought like 55 pounds of kilos of cocaine. And so, I mean, very crafty. And it's not like that's the only tunnel that's there. So what's a fence going to do? But like Jesse Ventura said, but keep us in.
Exactly. A fence is going to keep us in, and it's going to also allow other people to come in as well and go back out. But, you know, when I was in Arizona, I had an opportunity to speak with Glenn Spencer, and one of the technologies he's come up with is this seismic reading device that he places these rods down in the ground, and when someone approaches the border, it sends up this autonomous drone, and it flies right over, it follows that path where the footprints are, and then sends live footage back to him, and then they give that to the Border Patrol. You know, so he took that to Washington, D.C., and these guys are like, no, we don't want to use this technology.
Yeah.
It works.
Right.
They
Much
will
too
not
effective.
use something that works. They're putting up a border that's a beard. They do that just to make it look like we're doing something when really all we're doing is wasting millions of dollars.
Right.
These guys are going to get through
On an
anyways.
ineffective fence. Absolutely. And I think you pointed out in one of your reports that they need that the drugs trafficking through because they make a lot of money off of that.
Dark Alliance.
Yeah, the Dark Alliance. And then check this out. So this is on the coming out of the AP today. So now at busy crossings, pedestrians are going to need a passport to enter Mexico. Okay, so pretty much it's been if you're walking in, you can just kind of casually walk in.
Yeah,
now there's 2 lines.
Yeah, as long as you, I think it's, you stay within 70 miles, something like that. I might be wrong, but somewhere in there. You stay within 70 miles of the border, you can walk in without a passport because I've done it before.
Right.
You can go over, and I mean, I did it at a border crossing as well, not one of my stunts where I go
You're
across, but
ISIS.
yeah, you could go through just with an ID. So that's interesting. They're going to do that now.
Yeah, well, you'll have to choose between 2 lines. There's a line for Mexicans, they can go through unchecked, and then a line for foreigners who are going to have to show a passport, fill out a form. If you're staying more than a week, you got to pay 322 pesos for a 6-month permit. But they point out that for Mexico, this is a step toward closing an escape route for American criminals who disappear into Mexico. Obviously, it could be retaliation for Trump saying that, you know, Mexico's only shipping in criminals here to the U.S. But look at that. I mean, that's what this is. It's all about this wall to keep us in. Now, any of us who might want to get out or could be put on the list considered a criminal, you know,
But that shows how Mexico's being a little kind of, you know, they're being more proactive. Whereas we're like, all right, you know, bring us your criminals, you know, the bad people that you have. Whereas we do have a lot of criminals who do escape into Mexico. A lot of them were contractors, things like that, who went rogue. They go over, they start working with the cartels, they help out, they help do smuggling and all that. So, I mean, I think they're being pretty proactive in a sense. Our country just doesn't care. We let anybody in, and we let these people come in and rape people, and then we just let them go again.
Right. And a lot of times it is like hardened criminals. So I don't really understand what the issue is. So what do you think about what some of the candidates are proposing about the border or about taking away birthright citizenship?
Well, I heard Dr. Ben Carson wants to use drones. So that's one of the things that's interesting. He said he wanted to use military drones. Now, I don't know how far an extent that goes. Are we talking about arming these drones? Or are these just going to be unarmed predator drones flying around? So that's something we have to look into as far as he's concerned. And then we have Donald Trump as well, who wants to build this wall and then kick everyone out. And, you know, I just don't see how that's going to work. That's going to be a huge waste of money.
Right.
I think there's cheaper, better ways, like Glenn Spencer's idea of using the seismic reader, setting up the autonomous drones, the small ones, just to use as footage so you can then, you know, notify the proper authorities to come in, detain these guys, find out what's going on, and if they're criminals, sending them back.
Right. Well, there's some,
because there's a lot of people who come over legally, you know, and I think it's a slap in the face. I've got a lot of friends.
And a lot of kids.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of friends who joined the military. They came over from Mexico, served their country, and they got their citizenship the right way. And I've asked them, too, over the past couple of years, I was like, what do you guys think about that? That a lot of these people come over illegally. They skate around the entire system. They don't do it right. And then they're allowed to essentially move freely, where you had to go out and potentially die to have that right to be an American citizen.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, it's just like spitting in my face. I mean, why set the standard if you're not going to use it?
Right. Absolutely. Well, I know you've got some more trips planned to the border, so we'll definitely keep our eye on those reports. I know those are coming up, very exciting, and I'm sure you're going to get some more hard-hitting footage like you did last time you were out there. Pretty unbelievable. Trump had to put that in one of his campaign speeches.
I got to top it.
Yeah, wide open borders there. All right, well, thank you so much. And thank you all for tuning in tonight. That's it for the show. But of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Take us to the next level. We definitely appreciate your support. And you can also become a subscriber to prisonplanet.tv. You're going to get all of our 18 years worth of content there in high def. and you can share your username and password with up to 20 people at the same time. And we absolutely appreciate your support. You are the resistance. We'll see you here again tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central.
Brain Force is here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more crazed, more focused, less brain fog, more energy, more special reports, and it's because of Brain Force.
We kept changing this formula over and over and over again until it became sort of a grand puzzle. For example, the L-theanine inside of it, that is activated by the different compounds in the yerba mate that we put inside of it as well. This just increases the compounds you already have.
This is what you're actually designed to run on.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a car will run on one form of junkie gas, but it runs really good on what it's designed for.
And that's the principle of Infowars Life, as far as I understand, that you've always had, is that it's not about synthetic chemicals and forcing actions. It's about letting your body do its own thing and giving your body the tools it needs to create these different compounds that are super valuable and super beneficial.
You will find Brain Force and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.